I've been able to put on 30 pounds of lean muscle in the past 5 years, and I've been able to help hundreds of people transform their own physiques with smart, simple training, even at home. If you're struggling to put on muscle with no equipment, I'm about to hand you a full at-home workout plan that actually works. By the end of this video, you'll have a complete no equipment program and the exact steps to keep progressing week after week. The results you can expect from a consistent following of this program is number 1, overall muscle gain across your entire body, a secondary cardiovascular workout from the longer length reps and workouts, improved ligament, joint, and tendon health, and a feeling of confidence knowing you are making progress to becoming a better version of yourself. I'll be going over the exercises first, and then I will lay out a complete training guide depending on how many days you can work out and for how long. That way, no matter what your availability is or your circumstances, you can still make meaningful gains. First, we'll begin with the chest exercises. And yes, while a little simple and obvious, it is the push-up. However, to specifically bias the chest, we'll be doing wide push-ups. Keep a flat back and spread your arms out slightly further than shoulder width apart. Maintain the straightness as you go all the way down and all the way up. If you cannot at least do 5 wide grip push-ups, then begin with a modified version where you do them on your knees. And before I get any further, I cannot stress this enough, it is okay to use the modified versions. Emphasizing your form now will build a strong base to build off later. Our second chest exercise is the dip. Place 2 chairs about shoulder width apart, lean slightly forward, and descend slowly. Go all the way down and then come up. If you cannot do a full dip for at least 5 reps, then you can do negatives where you only do the descent portion of the range of motion. This is more pricey, but if you don't have the opportunity to use chairs or it's a little unstable, you can purchase a dip bar. This is not necessary, but it could make the exercise a little more comfortable. I'll leave a link in the description for dip bars that I think are cheap but also reliable and get the job done. For shoulders, we have the pike push-up. Take a shoulder width apart stance, then elevate your butt until you form a line from your hands to your butt. Then perform a standard push-up, touching either your nose or your forehead to the floor and keeping your elbows tucked. If this is too difficult, then you can play with how far away your feet are from your hands. The closer you go to your hands, the more difficult it will be, and the further away you go, the easier it'll be. This will largely target the front delt, but still a little bit of side delt. Sadly, there is no specific bodyweight exercise that really focuses on the side delt, so pay heavy attention to this and make sure you hit these hard. For the quads, the first exercise we have is squats. I recommend finding a book or a step that you can put under your heels. This will make the mobility aspect of the squat easier and more comfortable. Make sure we are maintaining an upright back and going all the way down. A good way to think of this is having complete hamstring coverage on your calves. Again, if you are unable to hit 5 complete reps with full range of motion, a more beginner version would be only going down to 90 degrees or doing negatives and having someone assist you back up. To increase difficulty, you can add on a backpack or carry some water jugs to make the exercise harder. The second exercise, although it looks a little funky, is extremely valuable. It's called the reverse Nordic. You begin this exercise in a 90-degree position. You then lower yourself back in a straight line as you come down, then reversing the motion, you come back up. To do a full range of motion one of these, even just one of them, is pretty difficult, so working with only doing partials or negatives is extremely valuable when learning the movement. Although addressing concerns about knee health, some people may think this exercise is dangerous, when in fact this exercise is a great knee strengthening exercise as long as you progress slowly. So it is a lot of tension, but as long as you progress slowly, you can actually improve your overall knee health. For back, we have the table/door row. You can set this one up by finding a table you can grab onto and then just simply pulling yourself to the table. The lower the table, the more difficult, so a modified version is finding a higher table. The second exercise is Y raises. To perform a Y raise, simply make your body in the shape of a Y with your arms about 45 degrees between your head and your torso. Then have your thumbs up and raise your arms as high as you can and then lower them. This exercise may be challenging at first, but progression comes quickly. So you can add extra resistance by grabbing books or any form of weight that you can find. Now, this exercise is not necessarily ideal, but if you're a beginner or have never done this exercise before, it will for sure put on some gains for you. With no equipment workouts, we have to get a little creative, so doing something is always better than doing nothing. A third option is the pull-up. Now, I recognize this is a no equipment routine and you can get away with only doing the first 2 exercises, but I highly recommend purchasing a pull-up bar or finding a branch, because in terms of tension and progression availability, this just unlocks the door for so many more exercises. So although this is not necessary, I 100% recommend purchasing one. I'll leave some down in the description that are cheap but reliable. They normally hover around $20, so not too bad. If you do have access to a pull-up bar or a branch, here's how you should execute it. You begin in a dead hang and allow your shoulders to relax. Then you engage your lats and begin to pull yourself up while maintaining core tightness to prevent swinging. You can pull to different places for variety and difficulty. The higher on your body, like let's say you're only pulling to your forehead, the easier, and the lower, like let's say you're pulling to your sternum, the more difficult it is. So you have ways to progress just with the standard pull-up. For a modified version, you can either do partials, only coming up to your forehead, or use a stool to do negatives. For biceps, we have curls. This can be done with a backpack, water jugs, chairs, or anything else lying around the house. If you do have access to a pull-up bar, we can do chin-ups, and although this is mainly a back exercise, it biases the biceps enough that we could count it towards our biceps training. For triceps, our first exercise is the diamond push-up. Put your hands close together, and you can form a diamond or they can just be very close together, and perform push-ups with your elbows not flaring, but instead right by your side. We can also do table skull crushers. Place your hands a little closer than shoulder width apart, and with keeping your elbows tucked, begin to descend. You can go to your chin, your forehead, or even behind your head. Again, just like the table row, the lower the table is, the increased difficulty, the higher the decreased difficulty. So pick the variation that suits you best. For our first hamstring exercise, we have Nordic curls. You begin by sticking your feet under something heavy, like a couch or maybe a family member holding your ankles, and begin to bend, slowly lowering yourself. Just like with reverse Nordics, we want to make sure that from our knees all the way to our head, we form a straight line. This one is also very difficult to do, as you'll find out very quickly. So either start by doing partials, only coming down a little bit and then going back up, or only doing negatives. We also have RDLs, again with like the curls, backpack, water jugs, heavy books, chairs, whatever you can find. Keep a slight bend in your knee and lower the backpack straight down. Go down as far as your flexibility allows you without rounding your back. And then simply reverse your motion, keeping the straight back and knee slightly bent the entire time. To increase the difficulty, we can increase the range of motion by elevating ourselves and going down even deeper. For calves, our one exercise is calf raises. If possible, place the balls of our feet on a step or a ledge to increase range of motion. Make sure we go all the way down and all the way back up. And to increase difficulty, either wear a backpack or have a friend or family member try to push you down as you come up. Now look, I understand some of these exercises are a little bit of a stretch, but we have to get creative and work with what we have. And these exercises can easily be very effective if progressed correctly. Now that we have all the exercises and know how to properly execute them, let's turn this thing into a complete workout for you to follow. I will lay out 6 different plans depending on the number of days you have available to work out. And right after I explain all the workouts, I will share a little hack that will cut your workout time in half. I will not be discussing specific volumes because it's so individualized, but just for starting out, we'll start with 2 sets, and depending on soreness, we will increase all the way up to 5 sets for each exercise. If you're never getting sore and the workouts feel a little easy, add a set to that next workout and then reassess. The ideal amount of soreness is that we get a little bit sore after the workout, but we are fully recovered by the next time we need to hit that muscle group. For reps, find a variation that doing 5 reps of it feels difficult. Then each week, attempt to add a rep or 2. Once we've reached 30 reps, either add weight or pick a more difficult variation. This is how we actually apply progressive overload and force our muscles to grow. If you can only work out 1, 2, or 3 days a week, these will be full body workouts, but I will explain the differences between 1, 2, and 3 days a week. If you can only do 1 day a week, which is fine, choose your favorite exercise for each muscle group and perform them all in that day. If you can do 2 days a week, pick your top 2 variations and do one of them on day 1 and your second one on day 2. Again, making sure that you're hitting every single muscle group for both of these days. For some muscle groups, there's only one variation. In that case, you do the same variation for both days. 3 days a week is just like 2. Start by picking your 2 top variations. Then do one of them on day 1 and the other one on day 2. And whatever your favorite variation is, do that one again for day 3. And again, if there's only one exercise for that muscle group, do that same variation all 3 days. This is a full body split just like day 1 and day 2, so make sure you're hitting all the muscle groups, but especially for 3 days a week, you want at least one rest day in between your lifting sessions. So it could look something like this. For 4 days a week, we have more days to spread out the workload. For this amount of days, we'll run an upper-lower, meaning 2 days of the week will be upper body workouts and the other 2 days will be lower body workouts. It doesn't matter if you do upper body day 2 first and upper body day 1. What does matter is that we're not doing an upper body day to an upper body day, or a lower body day to a lower body day. Ideally, you would do upper, lower, rest, upper, lower, rest, rest. Just ensuring enough recovery for the muscle groups and ensuring they're not being overtrained. For 5 days a week, we'll be doing an upper, lower, push, pull, legs. For push days, we work our pushing muscles like our chest, our shoulders, and our triceps. For our pulling days, we work muscles like our biceps and back. And for our lower body days, quads, hams, glutes, and calves. If you have 6 days available and want to be working out all 6 of those days, we're gonna be doing a push-pull legs, push-pull legs. Again, pushing muscles, chest, shoulders, triceps. Pulling muscles, we have our biceps and our back. And for our lower body or legs, glutes, hams, quads, and calves. You can either do push-pull legs, rest, push-pull legs, or push-pull legs, rest. Either way, it's one rest day a week. There's only one push, one pull, and one leg workout, so we'll just do all those, take a rest day, and then repeat the workouts. For variation's sake, the second day or the second workout of the week, you can do it in the reverse order. Quick reminder, for all these exercises and all of these days, we are doing 2 to 5 sets, 5 to 30 repetitions, and about a minute to 30 to 2 minute break in between each set. Now, this next tip will cut your workout time in half and can be applied to any of the workout splits. It's got a fancy name to it, but don't be afraid. It's called antagonistic supersets. All this means is you hit 2 muscles that are not related, like biceps and calves, and you superset them together. One way to think about this is the exercises that you do back to back cannot be of the same family. So for example, if we're doing a chest movement, it's in the push family. So for the exercise that we're doing back to back with it, it can't be triceps or shoulders. It has to be something from the pull family, like back or biceps, or from the legs group, any of the legs. So now that we have our exercises like wide grip push-ups and calf raises, we now just perform them back to back. For example, if on our upper day we have table rows and diamond push-ups, we'll perform our table rows, and then without a break, we'll go right into our diamond push-ups, and then we'll take our 2-minute rest, and then we'll repeat starting to go table rows and then diamond push-ups. To clarify, doing 1 set of table rows to diamond push-ups counts as 1 set for both of the muscle groups. So if we have 3 sets of table rows and 3 sets of diamond push-ups that we need to do, we need to go through this round or circuit 3 times. So that completes everything you need to know to begin your lifting journey. Remember to push yourself, but remember that training is only 1/3 of the equation. We also need to factor in recovery and nutrition. I have videos discussing both these topics in detail. Thank you so much for watching, and go get them gains, you bodyweight warrior.